Most people think finding the home of their dreams just sort of happens, like they'll know it when they see it, or it'll be love at first sight. Sometimes that happens, but a lot of times home buyers miss out on great homes because they make some really common mistakes. Today we're going to talk about figuring out how much house you can afford and understanding how the down payment, interest rate, term, and points affect your overall loan. My name is Adrienne Marks. I'm an independent real estate broker in Orange County, California. Buying a house is the largest purchase most people will ever make in their lives. By the end of this video, you will be better informed about the interest rates, terms, and points, and you will get information on a free gift to help you even more in your home buying journey. By the way, give this video a like so more people will have visibility to this great information. All right, let's jump right into this. The first thing we're going to go over is the payment to income ratio. And this guideline compares your income, your total household income, to the amount of mortgage payment you're considering. To calculate the payment part of the formula, the lender is going to take the mortgage payment, which includes the principal and the interest that you're going to pay each month, and they're going to add it to the property taxes and insurance. So that's where the term PITI comes from. It stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And as a general rule of thumb, lenders will loan up to a payment amount of 28% of your total household income. The next ratio we're going to talk about is the debt to income ratio. And debt in this category refers to all the major monthly payments that you have other than your mortgage payment. So it would include things like your car payment, any credit card payments you have, IRS liens or judgments, student loans, or any other debts that you owe. You know, it could also include child support and alimony. So they're going to compare your total debt to your ability to make current payments with your new home loan added into the equation. And the tricky part is that each lender has its own set limits for the debt to income ratio. So depending on the type of loan that you're getting, FHA versus conventional, for example, and who your lender is, that number might vary. Having a bit of an understanding on how these ratios are calculated and how the lender looks at them when reviewing your overall package will give you a general idea of how much of a house payment you can afford each month. Now, on a side note, I want to say when you go through the approval process and your lender tells you, oh, well, you are pre-approved for X amount, whatever that is, that doesn't mean you need to spend that much money. So you really need to look within yourself and your household and determine where are you going to be most comfortable having that monthly outlay. And even if you're approved for, let's say, $700,000 for a loan amount, you might not want to spend that much. You know, maybe you're more comfortable in the $500,000 range or the $600,000 range, or maybe you're perfectly fine with the $700,000. But just know that it's, in the end, it's up to you where you want that number to go up to the approved amount. When you're ready to move forward with actually shopping for a house, it's really important that you take some time, you know, it will probably be a few days for you to really do your homework on where is the best place for you to borrow your money. With all the variety of lenders that are out there, you want to take the time to shop for your financing and see who is offering the best terms for you. Now, there's a lot of things that you need to take into account when you're looking at a home loan. First of all is the purchase price of the home, your down payment amount, the interest rate and points, the term of the loan, and the overall type of loan. Now, we're going to get into each of these in more detail in just a second. Let's talk about how the down payment, interest rate, term, and points affect your overall loan and approval. So the first topic we're going to cover is the financed amount, and that's determined by the purchase price of the house and the down payment that you have saved. So for purposes of this example, we're going to say the purchase price is $500,000 and you have $100,000 for your down payment. So that means you're going to have a financed amount of $400,000. That $100,000 down payment is also a 20% down payment, which means that you would avoid having to pay mortgage insurance. That's a whole other topic that we're not going to get into today, but we'll definitely talk about that in a later video. Now, the next item is the interest rate. The interest rate can either make or cost you thousands of dollars, and we're going to go into an example of how the interest rate that you're approved for makes a difference in the affordability of the purchase price of your home, also your monthly payment, and the amount of interest that you're going to pay over the life of the loan. Now let's take a look at this table and the different scenarios in each. So this example is based on a 30-year fixed rate loan. The loan amount is $400,000, and we have 3 different interest rates that we're going to be looking at. So the highest is the 6%, and that's way higher than what our current market is offering right now. But for the purposes of this illustration, I just want you to get a good understanding of what a difference 1% interest rate can make in your monthly payment and the interest that you're paying over the life of the loan. Let's look at this first row. $400,000 loan, 6% interest rate. Your payment is almost $3,000 a month, and the interest over the life of the loan, if you were to keep the loan for 30 years, is over $463,000. Now let's look at the middle row at 5% interest rate. The payment goes down to $2,147, and the interest paid over the life of the loan is $90,000 less than if you were paying 6% on your loan. The very lowest, the 4%, which is right in line with where interest rates are right now, your payment would be $1,900 and interest paid $287,000 over the life of the loan, which is $175,000, almost $176,000 difference than if you were paying 6% for your loan. So we're talking a lot of money here, you guys, and it's really important to pay attention and to do whatever is in your power to make sure that you're getting the best rate possible based on your financial circumstances. Now, another important aspect for you to think about when planning your financing for your home is the term of your loan, because this also makes a big difference in your monthly payment and the interest that you're going to pay over the life of the loan. So for this illustration, we are going to use that same $400,000 loan amount, and all across the board the interest rate is 4%. But what's changing in this circumstance is the term of the loan. So most people do get 30-year loans. That's very, very common. So for $400,000 at 4%, we're looking at a $1,909 monthly payment and interest over the life of the loan of $287,000. Now, if you're able to swing it and pay almost $1,000 more per month for a 15-year note, the interest over the loan is cut significantly. You would be saving almost $155,000 over the life of the loan by shortening the term of the loan to 15 years. And the bottom example is a 10-year note, and here we can see it's over $200,000 in savings, but the monthly commitment is really high. So something for you to think about when you're planning your financing is what is the most that you can afford on a monthly payment, and how can you take the term of the loan and the interest rate of the loan to maximize the savings of the overall interest that you're going to pay on the loan. Make sense? Now, the last thing we're going to talk about today is points. And how do you know how many points you should pay? Should you pay them at all? Or is it worth it to throw in some extra cash to bring down your interest rate? So we're going to look at two examples. So the first one is still based on $400,000 loan at a 4.5% interest rate with 0 points. The other offer is 4% interest rate with 2 points. So in the table here, we're looking at your monthly payment for a 4.5% interest rate is going to be $2,027. Now, if you kick in $8,000, which is 2 points, so they take $400,000 times 2%, and that's how you get the $8,000 for the monetary value of the points. And in this scenario, they're offering a 4% interest rate, so your monthly payment would be $1,909. So if you take the two monthly payments, the $2,027 minus the $1,909, the difference is $118,000. Now you want to annualize that, so you're going to multiply that by 12, and the total difference between those two payments is $1,416 for the year. Now, in order to find out how many years it's going to take you to recoup that $8,000 that you put in, you take the $8,000 and divide it by the 1416, and that tells us that you would have to stay in your house 5.65 years in order to recoup the $8,000 that you paid the lender at the time of getting your loan. Now, back in the day, a lot of people stayed in their home around 5 or 6 years, but as of 2011, one of the reports showed that people are staying in their homes longer, and most likely because of the market crash that we experienced. And now that average is more about 13 years. But people's circumstances change. Maybe you get a job transfer, or you know that you're only going to be staying here for a certain amount of time. Maybe it's 3 or 4 years, and then you're moving on for whatever reason. So this is an important thing to take into account, whether or not you should pay those points, because you don't want to shell out this money when you know that you're not going to stay in the home long enough to recoup it. That was a lot of information to cover, and you might want to watch this another time or two until you feel really confident in your understanding of this topic. I do have a couple of resources to share with you. First, if you would like a PDF copy of the slides that were covered today in this video, you can request them by going to this link. I'll also put a link in the description box below for you. Now for the free gift I mentioned earlier. It's nearly 40 pages of almost everything you need to know about the home buying process from start to finish. Just click on the link in the description box and it'll be sent right to your inbox. I really appreciate you tuning in today. Do me a favor and comment below and let me know what part of the video brought about an aha moment for you. I publish new videos each week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button below and the bell so you'll be notified when my next video is out. See you next week.